This is gonna be pretty rough to do, gang. Do we gotta do this one, folks? Alright. I get it. Let's hurry up and get this over with, I guess. Shield Hero, what did they do to you, my boy? Alright, you know how we do things around here. Start off with the story. The story starts off pretty solid in Shield Hero. We follow our main character, Naofumi, who's in this library. He picks up this book about the Cardinal Heroes, and he opens it, and he gets transported into the worst second season of all time. Nigga, that's why I'm glad I can't read. He gets transported into this RPG game, fantasy world, and he becomes what's supposed to be the weakest hero out of the four Cardinal Heroes, which is there's the Spear Hero, the Sword Hero, the Bow Hero, and then there's Naofumi, the Shield Hero. He's supposed to be the weakest, but this nigga decided, yeah, fuck all that. I'm just gonna be Captain America and be the strongest nigga in this verse. After bitch, yes, that's her name now. I'm not calling her a real name. After bitch falsely accuses him and gets the entire kingdom to turn on him, he realizes that he's gonna need some help fighting the waves. And the waves are basically the enemy and the main antagonist of this show. Well, they were supposed to be the main antagonist of this show until season 2. He's purchased this slave named Raptalia. She's a demi-human, and he cures her of her sickness and teaches her how to fight. He purchased a Philolio named Philo around the same time to also help out with the fighting and transportation and shit too. While honing his own skills this whole time, he's improving his own party's abilities. They're training to fight these enemies that show up in waves at certain times. The primary goal of the show is to fight off these waves. Bro, what made season 1 so good and season 2 lack was Naofumi's character or personality and the audience's desire to want to see him win. It was like a us against the world type thing. My nigga, for season 1, I think I can speak for everyone when I say that we hated absolutely everyone in the show, but we knew one thing. Since that lame ass bitch tried to pin sexual assault and harassment on Naofumi and basically turned the whole kingdom against him, we knew we wanted this nigga Naofumi to win. We only fuck with Naofumi's party, Queen and Melcy, I think it's the second princess, not the first one. That's the bitch. We only wanted them to win. Like, we only fuck with them. That's it. Like, season 1 Naofumi was goated, man. He was this like sarcastic, funny, cool, laid back asshole to the people he fuck with, but he was like a real caring, nice, and like just chill nigga to his party. So like, he's a really cool character in season 1. It had something special going in the first season. It had so many elements that made the show interesting. You had the waves, especially the ones at the end where they was fighting those other heroes from like this different verse or this different world. That was cool. I'm still waiting for that rematch, by the way. I hope they go in that direction after that garbage ass season 2. You had the whole dark power that Naofumi had, like the demon and the shield thing. And I think it's like a full skill tree of like demon like spells or attacks and shit in his fucking shield. Like, that's cool. You got Raptalia and Philo getting stupid strong. I think I didn't finish season 2. I got like 80% through it. But I think Raptalia gets even stronger and becomes like a hero herself, if I'm not mistaken. I may be tweaking. I didn't go through that full season yet. And I have no plans on doing it, by the way. So there's that. They even helped Raptalia's people rebuild their village at the end of season 1. You had this whole journey of Naofumi trying to clear his name, and the satisfaction of him renaming the king and the princess to bitch and trash was funny as fuck. The whole kingdom had to address him as that, by the way. You had the whole rivalry between the other 3 heroes versus Naofumi, especially the one with Spear Hero, man. He embarrassed that nigga, and I loved every moment of that because that nigga was a straight hoe. You see how much entertainment and interest the season 1 of Shield Hero provided? Well, I hate to break it to you, none of that shit carries over to season 2. None of it. Season 2 is super unremarkable and super boring in my opinion. Hear me out. It's cool to have some slow episodes, right? To like, build up to finally reach the climax and eventually like, plot twist or some shit like that. You cannot take away Naofumi's personality like that while making slow and uneventful episodes with no comedy and no entertainment within them. You just can't do that. First off, Naofumi is like 95% of the comedy in this show, and they just made this nigga like Captain America, like personality wise. And for all you Captain America fans out there, fuck them. I don't care. That I don't like Captain America personality like that. He's just like a boring justice ass nigga, and that's exactly what they made now for me, in my opinion. Really lame the route they went with now for me in season 2. The antagonists in season 2 weren't that interesting either. Let's be real. These niggas spending like 10 episodes strategizing to fighting against a damn turtle. And then they hanging out with this lady that's connected to this turtle. So if a turtle dies and she dies, but they thought they killed the turtle and she was still alive. And then there's other evil generic ass nigga in the background. And they go into this new world where Charlie getting kidnapped or some shit. Like this fucking season had no structure at all. And it was just doing all the wrong shit in this season for some reason. Like I have no idea what happened over there. Shit makes me mad because this was literally my favorite show at a certain point in time, and you can see by season 1 that they can do way better than this, and we've seen them do way better than this. Long story short, season 2 was horrible, and it literally like made me mad. Like it made me mad a lot. I couldn't even finish it, bro. Like I really couldn't even finish it. Like usually I'm a positive nigga. I can watch things with an open mind. Like a lot of things that people like hate and genuinely dislike and really hate on, I can find some good in it. But Shield Hero, bro, I just can't do it. Like season 2 was so bad. Like it was so boring. It was all this build up for like nothing. Like these plot twists were random. Like it just wasn't written properly, and it took away the stuff that made the show good to begin with. Like I'm usually a very positive person. I usually never like talk down on stuff in my videos, but man, this was bad. This was really bad. Next, we're gonna move on to characters and character interactions. We're gonna base this off of season 1 because season 2 doesn't exist. Now, for me, it's super cool, my guy. Like for sure, he's a really super cool, laid back, compassionate nigga. But when you press that nigga, he a smart mouth, funny nigga, and I mean hilarious. For like this nigga wasn't no bitch. You couldn't just talk to him any way you wanted. And he was definitely like the strongest nigga in the kingdom, but on a low type shit. Like people still don't believe that a shield can do all that damage. But I done played enough MW2 to know that them shields can put in some work. Even without the stuns and the driller charges, my nigga. Like I talked about earlier, bro, you got a fuck ton of abilities. Like, and there's that whole demon skill tree for his shield that he isn't able to control yet. So I hope they explore that a little bit more because that was a really cool power. Like even though he couldn't control it, it was really cool to see like the animations that played and shit when they showed him using that power. Like those were really cool. He's a big part of season 1's comedy again. And honestly, I think he's the most relatable character in anime history. Like at least one of them. Out of all the anime MCs I've seen in any of these shows, he's definitely like the one that feels like the most human. Hopefully, moving forward in season 3, we get the same Naofumi that we got in season 1. I really hope we do, because if we don't, I'm not watching that either. He has some hilarious ass scenes, man. My favorite by far is when they finally decided to punish the king and the princess being trash and a bitch, and decided their punishment was to name them trash and bitch. The whole kingdom gotta call them that shit. They calling this nigga Sir Trash and Madame Bitch. Like that shit funny as hell. Another scene that I like is a little moment where he I think this is the season 1 where he tries to remove Ratalia's slave crest that she got when he bought them, but instead Reptalia like keeps it as symbolism of their friendship or their relationship. It's pretty cool. Their relationship's pretty cool. She starts off as Naofumi's slave, but he never acts like he owns her. He just treats her like a companion regardless of her being a demi-human, which a lot of people in this verse treat demi-humans like shit. So Naofumi's a really cool character. Raptalia is raw as hell. She's cool as fuck, man. She starts off as Naofumi's slaves, but now she's damn near like a whole ass goddess. Like, it's kind of wild. She got a lot of character development. She grown like a lot over this little time span. She's super strong. Her loyalty to Naofumi is unmatched, and her morals are pretty simple. She wants to make sure that her loved ones are safe, and she wants people to love each other no matter what the race is, which is pretty cool. If a lot of people in this world that we live in right now had the same philosophy that Raptalia did, we would have a much better place to live on, and a much better planet to live on. Philo is really cool. She's a Philolio. I never get used to saying that word, which is a really strong race. She's a wild, pure, nice-hearted kid figure. Like, she's strong. She gets stronger alongside the party. She's a valuable member of the party. She loves the party, and she grows with them. So, eventually, I think in season 1, she grows the favor of the Philolio queen, which is wild. because she's just like some knucklehead type shit. So I think that was pretty cool. The queen and her second daughter, I think her name is Melty. I think that's her name. Are really cool too. Like, I think they were a good break because the whole kingdom hated Naofumi. They were a really good break in between that. Cause man, the rest of them niggas in the kingdom are fucking cornballs, bro. Like the rest of them niggas lame as hell, followers, can't think for themselves. And I think like the queen and Melty were a really good break. They were super fair to Naofumi during the time when you had the whole kingdom against them. They were really fair. They had their own opinions of things. They could see through lies. They knew Naofumi was actually a good person this whole time, and they knew that it was all like a sham type shit or some bullshit. Then we have the rest of the niggas in the kingdom. I hate all these niggas. Spear Hero, lame ass, cornball ass nigga. Sword and bow heroes are just followers who can't think for themselves, and this same shit goes for the rest of the kingdom. This show does a really good job at making you hate everyone else, but in the process, making you love Naofumi and his party even more. It does a really good job at that. Now, let's move on to looks, presentation, and music. As far as the looks go in this show looks pretty good. I think in modern day anime, we're really spoiled by animation. So there's a lot of stuff that looks kind of normal to me, even though like that's still good. I definitely took this show and a lot of shows animation for granted. Since the first time I watched this show, I've watched a lot of like phenomenal animation like Fate, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, Bubble, and Dragon Ball Super Broly, just to name a few. And I've seen some really horrible animation like Seven Deadly Sins, and damn, I forgot Seven Deadly Sins. This show's animation is good to me. Like, it's really good to me. I think the high points are definitely during the waves because like it's just so fluid. The fighting in this show is really fluid and really well animated. Even with the overall like red color tones over the models during the waves, you can clearly see what's going on. They made this show look great in my opinion. An underrated aspect of this show is the music. I'm trying something new for my videos, and I'm actually like going to Spotify listening to the soundtracks because you can't really like hear the music well in some of these shows because they made for the background. I never realized how great the music is in this show. It's probably because I wasn't paying attention enough, but there's a lot of big ass orchestral pieces in this show's soundtrack, which is on Spotify, by the way. The soundtrack definitely got some love put in it. Even the fucking HUD music, when Naofumi did his HUD menu, the HUD music is like a big ass orchestral piece for like it's so cool. Like these ain't just like little songs that they put in the background just for like one-off shit with no effort. These are actually fully fleshed out songs. Like I think that's so cool. And it's kind of a shame because they're put in the background and they're not trying to distract you from what's going on the screen. But you wouldn't even know that these songs like are this good unless you actually listen to the soundtrack. They put a lot of love in the music in this anime, and as an artist and a musician, I appreciate the fuck out of that. Like it's kind of a shame that you don't hear like all of it because like it's mostly made to be background music. But these tracks are really good. Like especially I think the first one just called The Rising of the Shield Hero. The actual OPs of the show are really good. The wave shit is really good. The wave song is really good. The HUD music is really good. Like it's kind of ridiculous what they did with the music in this. Like I feel like they put a decent amount of budget towards the music in this show, and I appreciate it. Anytime that you pay some extra attention to detail, even for something that's not going to be seen immediately, I definitely appreciate that. Thank you for putting the love in this show that you did. Now, is the second season bad? Yes. Does it take everything away that made the first season good? Yes. But can you still enjoy the show based off of how good the first season was? You damn Skippy. Season 1 of this will always be fire. Will never not be fire. If you haven't watched this, do yourself a favor and go watch the shit. Like, you holding yourself back from watching some good anime. Just don't watch season 2 if you have super high expectations, or you're gonna be sad just like I am. And that's all for me, man. As always, man, have a good day. Peace. And montage time.
俺に触るな。知恵深い元康のおかげで自由の身になったんだろ。もう俺に関わるな。
私は この世界中の誰よりも直文様を知っています。直文様の優しさを知っています。
行くぞラフタリア。殴るんじゃなかったのか。
いや、やめておく。
そうか、命拾いしたな。
ちょっと待ちな。
俺の名前は岩谷直文。